Okay, so thank you very much. So basically, the background on the title, so basically this presentation is based on a paper that we put out with a group of co-authors that is shown. But well, at the end, when I was thinking what to prepare for this 6 minutes and 40 seconds, I thought that I would do a bit something else, which is in the paper, but still, which kind of just communicates the kind of the things that the genetics could be used for in order to protect biodiversity. Yeah, so I think we can move on. Okay, so the topic of today is sustainability at BOKU. But well, one of the core components of sustainability is actually biodiversity, which is really the number, variety, and variability of living organisms in the world. So we might not realize it, but biodiversity is all around us, and this is one of the central components of our lives. Well, diversity itself, or biodiversity, has multiple levels, coming from individuals, breeds, species, up to the environments and ecosystems. So let it be land or water, or the parks of Vienna, or some deep jungle in Brazil, we want to have as much biodiversity around as possible. Biodiversity, or protection of biodiversity, is also public responsibility. It is our responsibility, as also highlighted in the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations, really in life below water and life on land, but also for some other topics, such as climate inaction and zero hunger. Well, we have problems now, and biodiversity is currently under threat. It has some direct problems on us, which is really for the threatening our food security, but also there are some breeds and species that are dying out, which is a huge ethical concern. Well, diversity itself is a very wide topic, so would be unwise to deal with it all for a single person. So that what me and my colleagues are focusing on is animal diversity. And within that, at our Department of Sustainable Agriculture Systems, we are more dealing with livestock. So this is our narrower focus. So here in the livestock, we have an additional concept of breeds, which are better adapted to certain environments, and with a different production focus for example, meat and milk, or for example, for a chicken would be like the eggs, or wool in case of sheep. There are some breeds that are larger than others. Some are really huge ones with hundreds of millions of individuals, and other ones that are much smaller that might be really popular in certain region or country, but otherwise they are really just small in population size. And these are really threatened by extinction. Well, what can we do for it? We can analyze the diversity in general, and genetic diversity in particular, so we can just contribute to their better management and hopefully saving them from extinction, and basically that they are maintained in the world. As for genetics, one of the best known geneticians is Gregor Mendel, who is also called the father of genetics, and his groundbreaking work had shown that some traits are governed by certain alleles that can be biallelic, and in this case, there are some alleles that can overrule others. So both alleles are there, but only one is shown. If this trait is a disease, it can happen that there are two healthy-looking individuals that are still carrying this diseased allele. So basically, for the two carriers, it can happen that there is an offspring would be just problematic, or having this disorder or disease. Well, great progress has been made since Mendel's time, but some old rules remain, and we're still having these so-called Mendelian disorders, where just a single point in genome can cause problems and causing the disease as before. So what we do now is really analyzing genomic data by taking blood samples or just DNA samples and transforming them into data by analyzing from anywhere between thousands to millions of data points per individual. So what we are doing really is just analyzing DNA with computers. This is really commonly done nowadays in Austria and elsewhere, mostly to pick up the animals which are the best genetically, so increase production, but also the same data can be utilized for looking at genetic diversity, especially in small breeds. One of these small breeds which we are really dealing with is a Tyrol Grey Cattle, which is really a charming breed coming from the mountainous regions of Tyrol, Austria. And this is a small and endangered breed with several thousand of individuals as for the population. Well, unsurprisingly gray in color, so that's but in 2003 there was a big problem in this breed, and there was a previously unknown disease coming up where the animals were losing control behind their hind parts and eventually had to be slaughtered. The pedigree analysis was done, and then it was confirmed to be a Mendelian disease or disorder. So also the source of this disease was tracked down, which is unfortunately was a very influential individual in the population. So by getting rid of all the carriers would be just impossible. Well, it would be possible, but it would technically destroy the whole breed. So there had to be another solution. What we can do instead is just genotype individuals. Well, genotype some healthy individuals, which we know for sure that they are healthy, and genotype some diseased ones, and compare their genotypes and see where the difference is. And then if we can find really the place on the genome which is different between the healthy and the sick, we can find basically the cause of the disease. Exactly this was done, so there was an analysis of different precision. First they identified the chromosome, and then the exact location on the genome, which was just the same for all sick individuals but different from all healthy individuals. And for next generation sequencing, they really found also the causal gene. So at the end, the breed was saved, so everybody was happy and still happy, cow is happy. And then I have to say that this is not the cure for the disease, but at least we now can identify the carriers, so you don't need to throw out all the individuals which might or might not be affected. Well, this was one of the examples how genetics could help to maintain diversity. So there are many other stories, but unfortunately could not be told today. But well, what I think is that we have a very exciting time ahead of us, and we will continue in this line of research. So thank you very much.